everybody, it's Dave with Wags Automotive here in BFM, and I'm fresh back from the No Name Nationals in Sykeston, Missouri. And we had a great time. We met a lot of cool people there, and there's a lot of fun drag racing, car shows, burnout contests, good food, just a lot of fun, a lot of cool people there. A lot of guys just like me. They got a little YouTube channel. They're trying to grow it, trying to get people to watch. And I took these two cars down there. Maybe that's why you're wondering why I got a Dodge over here, or Plymouth over here, sorry, and a Chevrolet over here. Well, these are the two cars I took to the show. And the reason I took these two cars to the show is because they're for sale. And today, I'm back at my house in BFM, and I'm going to do a couple videos on both these cars. So if you watch one, be sure to watch the other. These cars both have an amazing story. They're both really unique, and I think you're going to like them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack them up. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to jack one of them up, put it on jack stand so I can get underneath of it to show you the underneath side of the car, because everybody's going to want to see that. These are both super low mile cars. One of them is amazingly low miles, and I'm just going to make videos of each one of them and talk about them. And two people, sometime soon, hopefully, are going to be the proud owners of these two really cool cars. So let's get started. All right. Okay, guys. I'm going to do the Mopar first for you Mopar guys. Got her up on the jack stands. We'll take a look at it. I'll tell you about it. This is going to be kind of a long video because this car's got a pretty good history and a pretty good story. So let's get started on it, and I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll tell you what I know about it. All right. Get my, well, let's see here. I think I'm going to maybe do something different this time. Take my camera off the mount. Just hold it in my hand instead of trying to do the legs up like I have in the past on other videos. There we go. Okay, so we'll do a walk around here. Again, this is a 1973 Plymouth Roadrunner. It's a vinyl top car, so it does not have the stripes that would run across the roof and down to the front there. It should have hood stripes on it, and I got a story on those I'll tell you. It's what I call a day two car. It's a very, very common name. Cars that were hot rodded back in the day. You take a stock appearing car and you throw a set of nice wheels and tires on it, put some good exhaust on it, do some hop up goodies on the engine, and you drive it. So this car came from Little Rock, Arkansas, and it ended up in Iowa, and then it ended up in Omaha, and that's where I bought it. I bought it from a gentleman in Omaha that collects cars. He likes to go to the Mecum auctions and buy them, and he bought this one in Des Moines, Iowa, at a Mecum auction in 2012, if I remember right. We'll go up here and we'll look real quick. Yep, Mecum 2012, right there. And there's my No Name Nationals sticker from this year, the inaugural No Name Nationals. So I got to enjoy that show for the first time. This car is just a beautiful car. It's beautiful to look at. Petty blue is what I believe the color is. It's what I've been told. It's a very popular color among the Mopar enthusiasts, and it's a beautiful car. We'll go inside her real quick so I can reveal the mileage to you, and we'll look at this 150 mile an hour speedometer. Well, let me get over here because I can't get in there that way. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. And this car has 23,354 miles on it. And yes, that's original miles. That's original miles, folks. 23,354 miles. Okay. So let's start with the engine, I guess, on it. So let's open up the hood. Take a look at what we got under the hood here. Now, believe me, guys, I wish that I could say, man, this is a 440, you know, 383 Magnum, something like that. But this car was bought as a family car in 1973. A gentleman that bought it in Little Rock, he bought it to used to go back and forth to work. So it's a 318 car. 318, but it is numbers matching. Transmission and motor numbers matching. So those are original. I'm not going to do anything with them because they're original. It does have, like I said, some go fast parts on it. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's got the famous purple, I don't know if you guys can see it, I'm trying to get out of the sun here. Purple beep horn down there. You guys can see that. See it down there? There it is. Got the purple beep horn, and I think I put that horn on there new. I think I have the original one. I bought one for it because the horn wasn't working that good, and it still doesn't work that good. I'm guessing it's probably got a bad contacts inside the steering wheel, the horn buttons. But it works sometimes, you know, just typical 50-year-old car stuff. It is missing the insulation on the bottom of the hood, but you know, you can buy that off eBay for, you know, next to nothing. It's not that expensive. It does have air conditioning. I've never tried it, but I know, well, I know it's not charged, so you know, it was R12 system, and I haven't messed with it because I don't know, whoever buys this car is going to want to, you know, put the air conditioning back on it. They're going to want to upgrade it to R134A. You know, they may want to just take it off altogether. I don't know, but it's there. It's complete. All the hoses are there. The condenser's right here in good shape, but everything's there. You know, all the sensors and hoses are there. So I mean, you could throw some Freon in it and see what it does. Maybe it'll work just fine. I don't know, but you know, obviously it needs a little help. Needs something. It's got the original washer reservoir there. It's 50 years old. It's not broken. I'm surprised. I haven't messed with it. I haven't put anything in it because, again, I don't want to mess with this. This is a 23,000 mile car, so I'm trying to keep it as original as I possibly can. I mean, it was this. Most of it was this way when I bought it, and I'm leaving it that way. I did put a new module there, and I think that one over there is the ignition module, if I remember right. Over here, the ignition module is new, and that module there is new. You guys can probably tell me which one's which. I don't remember. And I put a new ballast resistor on it there, so it would work properly. I did. One thing I did do to it is I did a complete tune-up on it. I put new cap, rotor, and I put Excel plug wires, Excel super stock coil on it, and I believe I put new plugs in it as well. I did replace the alternator because it wasn't working properly, and I think I have the original one, if I remember. I think I had the original one still on it, and I think I still have it in the box. I got a ton of parts for this car. I'll make a short video on that and add it to this one at the end. But I got probably about $4,000 in parts for this car. So if you see something on it that's missing or broken, or that's not in great shape, I probably got another one. We'll go through that later. Okay, so let's walk around the outside of the car, and you know, as you can see, one thing you can tell about this car that you know it's a low mileage car, besides the odometer, is these headlight bezels. They're aluminum, and they're pretty thin aluminum, and they're polished. Now, if this car had high miles on it, a lot of these, I've seen these on the Roadrunners before, and these have rock chips in them. They're beat up, road debris, sand, you know, getting up on them from the road, and they get pitted over time, and they look horrible. These look fantastic. I don't think there's a single dent in them anywhere. They're just beautiful. As you can see, that one's real nice. This one here is just as good. I mean, they're showing their age a little bit, you know. And I assume probably if whoever buys this car is going to want to make it look even nicer. So, I mean, you could take this stuff off and, you know, polish it, have it re-anodized, whatever, and it look good. The bumpers are original. They're losing their luster a little bit, but they're not in bad shape. The front one here is real nice. It's got these ugly 5-mile-an-hour bumper things, bumperettes, whatever you call them. You know, I don't like those, but they're there and they're part of the car, so I haven't messed with them again. The grill in this car is broken right here in the middle, as you can see there. But the bad news is they don't repop these things yet, and so you can't find them. But the good news is I've got one in a box in my shop that came off of a car that had even less miles than this. I think it had around 10 or 12,000 miles on it. But it was sitting in a barn, I think, and had gotten water inside of it and it was rusted real bad, and they basically were just parting it out. And I bought a whole bunch of parts from the guy off the car. You'll see other parts I have for it too. I'll show those to you when I show you all the parts. But I do have another grill it's still in the box. I haven't taken it out of the box yet. It's supposed to be flawless, so I'm hoping that is, but that goes with the car. So that's the good part of that. It won't have a broken grill in it. You can put that other grill in, it'll look nice. But this car, again, you know, you can look bottom of the front fender, inside the fender there. I mean, the paint job that's done on this car is phenomenal. Someone took the time to cut it and buff it, and it's just really smooth and nice. It's in really good shape. You can see inside the fender well here. Again, that just attests to the fact that it's a low mileage car. I mean, you can see how nice it is in there, you know, how clean it is. Just real nice. Looks great. You know, there's not a whole lot of rust anywhere. There's inside the front fender, or the front part of the inner fender there. Again, it's real nice, you know, in great shape. Come down here, you can look at the rocker panels, the lower fender. There's no rust anywhere on it. This car has, like I said, this car has had a respray for the majority of it. Again, you can see back here, it looks to me like there's a little bit of something right there. I don't know if that's just roughness in the paint. It doesn't feel like a bubble to me. I don't think it's a bubble. I thought it might be, but I don't think it is. Here's the inner fender on the passenger side on the back. As you can see, again, it's kind of hard to tell because it's hard to get in there, but you can see that it's in really good shape. Fender lip, there's a little bit of spot of rust right there coming through. Nothing major, but the back side of the fender, you can see, is in excellent condition. It does have a little bit of rubber stuck to the fender from me smoking them off, and it will smoke them. I'll talk about that engine here in a minute. The Go Fast wing was put on the car. It did not originally come with it, and I've got the story on that. I'll talk to you about that whenever I show you the paperwork on the car. I do have some paperwork on the car to authenticate it. So again, the back bumper is original. It's not great, you know, it's okay. It's not, you know, beat up or nothing. It's just starting to lose its patina, starting to lose its shine, and the chrome's starting to dull out on it. And I was thinking somewhere, well, I guess not. I thought there was some damage to the bumper, but I don't see it. It looks okay to me. And as you can see, this car is licensed for October of next year, so I just got it inspected. It passed inspection. It was fine. And we'll go around to this side. Again, we'll look at the body. The vinyl top is absolutely flawless. I don't know if it's replaced or not. It may have been. I mean, I have no way of knowing. I got the cool big sticker on the window back there. Whatever the guy's name is, Mr. Horsepower. I like that because it's a Roadrunner, so I thought it was cool. And I got one up there on the radio antenna too. So anyhow, this side here, we'll look at the bottom of the fender. Looks like there's a little spot right there, a little bit of rust maybe coming through. Probably needs a little bit of touch up there. Not bad. Again, there's the fender. There's the inner fender well. You can see it's like super nice. Come around, I can't really get the top, but come around on this side and we'll look in here. Again, this is the inner fender. As you can see, come on. It's just really hard to do it because the tire's in the way. But you can see it. I mean, it just looks nice. Even this is real nice. You know, this car has definitely been well taken care of. And, you know, again, the rocker panel on this side, on the driver's side, is in excellent condition. Now here's one bad thing about it, and I have to blame myself for this. When I bought this car, I questioned whether the front tires were very good or not on it. And I actually, when I bought it, I took it to a tire shop in Omaha and was going to have new front tires put on it, but they wanted some outrageous price, so I changed my mind and decided not to do it. I drove back to Kansas City and it ran just fine, and then about a month after I got back to Kansas City, I was driving it to a car show about 30 miles from my house, and I heard this tire start to make funny noises. I was only doing about 60 miles an hour because I try to drive my cars gentle, especially low mileage ones like this. and I started slowing down. I hit the brakes pretty hard, and it got down to about 15 miles an hour, and the tire came apart and hit the fender, and it chipped the paint right here, and it's got a little bit of a dent right here. Not terrible, but it's very easily fixed. You probably the best way to do it would be to take the fender off and get to it from the inside. And you know, maybe if I can get in there, I don't know if I can get in there or not, I might try to pop that out. But you know, it's the funny thing is when you're standing here like this and you're looking at the car, you can't even see it. I mean, it's so low on the fender, so it's not obvious when the car is sitting on the ground. But that's the worst part of the car, the body right there. And I did that, which unfortunately happened. But you know, I can't do anything about it. It's there. But I want to be honest about the car. I want to show you everything that's going on with it. Here's the door tag on it with the VIN number. It's got it was one number away from being number 65,000, which is interesting, or one number away from being number 166,000. I mean, sorry, 165,999. So the next car is 166,000. So it's kind of interesting. Date of manufacture was 11 of 72. So this is a 72 car. It's built for 73 model year. So it's an early production car. We'll look at the interior here in a minute, talk about that. It's got these Kragers on it. It's got 14s on the front, 15s on the back. I believe these front are 14 by 6. 14 by 6s or 14 by 7s, and the backs are 15 by 8s. They got real nice Stinger radial tires on them. The front one is just, what are they? They're Michelin's. Michelin's a good brand. So yeah, that's definitely nothing wrong with that. Michelin's are good tires, and I bought those and put them on there. They're in excellent condition, so you don't have to worry about any more problems with that. You know, the paint job's not flawless on it. It could use a little touch up, but I mean, considering that this car was restored probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, it's not bad. So anyhow, this 318 engine, it's got a cam in it. It's got an aftermarket intake. It's got a Holley 600 carburetor, which I myself personally completely rebuilt it. I took it completely apart, soaked it, and immersed it in carb cleaner and let it sit for several days. Took it out because it was running bad, and I just said, heck with it, I'm just going to put a kit in it. And I made all the adjustments on it because I know how to make the adjustments on them properly before I put it back on the car, and it runs way better now. So it's got that on it. It's got a pipes, P-Y-P-E-S, pipes, complete X-pipe header back dual exhaust system on it. It's got headers. It's got dual exhaust all the way to the back with X-pipe in it and pipes mufflers. That's like probably a, I don't know, $800,000 system on that. And again, I told you what I did with the tune-up stuff. You know, and I think I put new belts on it too. I haven't messed with the cooling system on it. I did do an oil change on it. You know, but it's been sitting for a couple of years. I might go ahead and do another one on it here real quick. So other than that, it's you know, just a stock 318. Well, I mean, I say that, I really don't know, because the story on it is the third, I believe the third owner on the car was into hot rods, and so he's the one that put the wheels on it, and he put air shocks on the back and jacked it up, put the fancy exhaust on it, and did all the work to the engine. So, but I know it runs like a scalded cat, and it'll definitely smoke the tire, no problem. But I believe that, I don't know if there was anything done internally to the engine, so I'm not going to say that. But I mean, it's only, when he had it, it was probably right around 20,000 miles on it. So, you know, it's barely even broke in. I mean, it's probably got great compression. Well, I know it does. It's got great compression. It's got good oil pressure. So I'm going to say he probably just threw a cam in it and put a hot ignition system on it. Aftermarket intake, Holley carburetor, dual exhaust with headers. But it really runs great. I mean, it's one of the best running 318s I've ever driven. So let's pop inside here, and the carburetor is, the high idle on the carburetor is a little too high, so probably it's going to idle up a little bit more than I want it to when I first start it, but I don't know, maybe it won't. We'll see. It's idling good. All right, let's let it run for a minute here. this steering wheel, this centerpiece was broken, so I got another one. I think I got two other steering wheels for this, or I got one of the whole steering wheel and one partial steering wheel, but I got this new centerpiece for it, and it's actually the right color, so that's kind of cool. All right, so there's our gauges. Obviously that's on cold because it's just started. You can see it is charging. Oil pressure, I don't know how these gauges work exactly because they're not numbered, but it's got 3 marks between the high and the low, and I'm guessing the first mark is probably 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds. So right now it's got about 20 pounds of pressure on it, oil pressure, and it's coming up a little more. It's about 22 now. So it's got really good oil pressure. No big deal on that. And we'll talk about the interior here in a minute. So we can come out here, we can listen to it run. It's pretty quiet up here, you know, but as you can see, it's got plenty of response. It idles real smooth, runs really good. I haven't had any problems with it at all running, but I mean, it's only 22,000 miles. It does have power steering, if you can see that down there, so that's kind of nice. It does have the original clutch fan on it, so that's pretty cool. You know, like I said, the car is a lot of it's still original, so I like that. You know, original stickers. Right here's the original sticker. That's another one right there. I don't know. Not a whole lot else to say about the engine. And let me get my stand here, and we'll walk back to the back. I love the way this thing sounds. And you can hear it. Get my stand set up here. Alright, there we go. Now you can hear it running. Hair out sounds, it's got that nice throaty sound to it. It sounds like a really mean race engine, but it's just a 318. But I'll tell you what, it does run great. It really does. All right, let me rev it up a couple times. Well, there you go. You can tell how good it sounds. Sounds great going down the road. It's kind of quiet until you get into it, and then it's got the really good rumble to it. So it's nice to be inside the car, not have super loud. And it's got dual exhaust coming all the way out the back bumper. That's nice too. So I'll show you this exhaust system when we're underneath the car. Let me shut it off. And while we're back here, we'll pop open the trunk. All right. And here's the kind of cool thing about this car. The guy, whoever had it painted, they decided to leave, and I guess I should have shown you more of that in the front. They decided to leave the original paint in the engine compartment, which I probably wouldn't have done because it's pretty ugly in some spots. But they did leave the original paint in the trunk, which I'm glad, because this trunk is phenomenal. I mean, you can see just how good a condition it's in right here. I mean, it's just great. You know, there's almost no rust inside of it. Really clean, really nice looking. This side here is the same way, just beautiful. Down here, you know, the tail panel, I mean, there's the original paint is in excellent condition inside this trunk. Even the trunk seal's nice. There's the bottom side of the trunk lid. You can see where he bolted the go wing through. Got the original jack instructions on it. And the 83 is what was in the windshield from the No Name Nationals. I just stuck it up there. I don't know, it's a memento, I guess, you know. Somebody, whoever buys a car, they can tear it off and throw it in the trash. I don't care. It's just vinyl. It comes right off. But again, you can see this trunk of this car is in really good shape. And I'll pull this mat up on this side. And again, you can see There's the floor. There's absolutely, I mean, there's a little bit of spot rust there, but it's just spot rust. It's not anything bad. Just in really, really good condition. I mean, this car is, whoever gets this car is going to have a phenomenal car because it's just so nice, you know. And this, of course, this is the original floor mat, trunk mat. And now on this side, one thing I did notice is right here, this is the only spot in the entire car that I've been able to find any kind of rust through. But if you look at this, it's a very small area right here, and I'll show you underneath the car. But I've seen this before, and I'm 99.9% sure what happened here is somebody had a towel or a grease rag or something, and it was wet, and they left it sitting here and rolled this floor mat back over the top of it, and it sat there in that one spot. And of course, this rubber mat's going to hold the moisture in, and it sat there in that one spot and rusted some holes in the floorboard. But that's literally the only place that I've been able to find there's any rust. I'll show you, when we get underneath the car, I'll show you what it looks like. It does have the jack up there. I do not have a spare for it, but you know, a Mopar wheel. I mean, whoever buys it, they may want to put, you know, Magnum 500s back on it or something. I don't know, you know, but, or just find another, you know, you may want to put 15s on the front and use those Kragers there for a spare. Now these Kragers, they're really nice looking. They aren't perfect. This one here has got a little tiny bit of rust right there. You can see it, not bad. It's got a little more rust right there, a little spot. But I mean, they clean up nice. They're good cruising wheels. You know, they're not perfect, but again, this back one here, it's a little spot there. Just want to be honest with you guys, show you what it looks like. You know, it's got slight imperfections in it, nothing major, but it's there. The lug nuts, the washers are in kind of bad shape on them, but I happen to have a brand new set of Unilug nuts and washers that I'll throw in with the car, whoever buys it, so those will be replaced. No big deal there. All the decals, they're in excellent condition. You know, as far as that, well, I guess they're not original because they painted the car, so they probably put new ones on, obviously. And we'll go over to this side. Look at the Kragers on this side. I mean, they got beautiful shine to them in the sun. They look fantastic. I don't know. Let's see. This one here's got a little bit. I don't know if you can see it down there, where the valve stem is. There's a couple spots of rust there. Nothing major, you know. I mean, standing here, you really can't even see it. But get up close. Like I said, I just want to be honest with people about it. And this front one here. Let's see if it's got anything. Oh, I don't see anything on it. Oh well, there's a little tiny bit right there starting to come through. It's a really small area. So again, you know, they're not perfect. In the paint, again, I mentioned the original paint in the engine compartment. You know, it's chipping right here, and you know, it's got some chipping spots over here. If it were me, if I was going to keep this car, I'd pull the engine out, fully detail it and repaint it, and I would repaint the engine compartment too, just to make it look nice. I'd leave the trunk alone because it's nice, but I'd probably repaint this in here just to make it look good. And the fender tag, I'm not sure how well you guys can see this. I'll show it to you. So there it is. I'm not going to read all those numbers off because there's a lot of them, but I'll get close as I can to it so you can see it. So there that is. There's the fender tag. Again, the VIN number right here, 165999. All the other numbers, you Mopar guys know what all those mean. I don't know. But there it is. It tells you what you need to know about the car. Okay. All right, let's go underneath of it. Take a look at what we got underneath. And we'll start here in the front. Get my cardboard creeper out. Everybody's got one of those, right? They come in handy. So let's go under here. The front valance on this thing is in really good condition. It's got a couple scuffs right here in the middle from something rubbing on it. I don't know, a curb or a parking curb or something. It's got a little black mark right here, you can see, but all in all, it's in great shape. Probably give it a good buffing and it'd look great. Here's the bottom side of the car, the front suspension. I'll get up in here. You can see the fender well up in there. How good it looks. Just in great condition. I mean, there's, like I said, there's no way this car would have over 100,000 miles on it, because it wouldn't look anything like this. There's the inside of the fender. You can see that all the way around. Just looks really good. Front suspension. You know, it's got all the paint on it. There's the headers. They're a little rusty because they've been on the car for a while, but they're not terrible. You know, I've seen way worse. They got a couple dents in them, it looks like, from road rash. But obviously the pan, I'm assuming the motor's been out of the car, but I don't know. I think it probably has. But the oil pan obviously is in good shape, no problem there. Front suspension again. Try to get up in here so you guys can see. Passenger side fender, inside again in beautiful condition. Spin around here. You guys are probably getting dizzy watching all this. And we'll look at the inner fender on the passenger side. Again, you can see it's in just fantastic condition. And there's the fender on the inside. Again, really nice, very, very nominal rust on it, just in great shape. This thing does have disc brakes on the front, as you can see there. So yeah, they're the hoses, I don't know if they're original or not. They might be. I know they work fine, so I'm not too worried about them. All right, let's go underneath the center of the car. I'll have to move my cardboard creeper, and we'll crawl underneath the middle of the car and look at the floor pan. Okay. Oh, one other thing. Here's a lanyard hanging down here. This thing does have hood pins on it. You guys probably saw that. I took the hair pins off because they were rusty and they looked bad, and I didn't want them scratching the paint, so I left the lanyards here. And I do have a brand new set, of course, a brand new set of hood pins in the box that I'll give whoever buys the car with the car. Okay. All right. We'll go underneath the passenger side first, since we're over here. Crawl around under here and look at things. Get my cardboard creeper situated here so we can see what we're looking at. All right, first thing we'll do, oh, by the way, these mirrors, they're really expensive, and but I do have a brand new set in the box of those. So you'll get a brand new set of those, and I believe, well, I know I've got a brand new set of locks because, well, I'll show you when I get to the interior. I got a brand new complete set of locks that include the ignition, the glove box, the doors, and the trunk with keys. I got a brand new set of those in the box you can have. And I think I've got new door handles, but I can't remember. I'll have to look through my parts and see what I got when I show you the video of my parts. So, but I'm pretty sure I got new door handles too. All right, let's crawl underneath here, and we'll look. First thing we'll do, look at this rocker panel, guys. Look at that. That is just absolutely flawless all the way to the front. I mean, even in here with the where the fender bolts in there is just clean. Okay, and then here's the floor pan. I'll show you that. All right. Passenger side, again, there's the front floor pan. There's the transmission cross member. And there's the floor pan behind that. Going all the way back. All the way back. There's the rear frame section. And we'll go up under here. There's the like I said, pipes, exhaust system, and as you can see, it's an X pipe. Works really well with this car. Up above the exhaust system, there's the floor pan up in there, and you can see again, this car is like drowned with undercoating. Somebody didn't want it to rust, so they must have paid extra to have it undercoated, because it is just phenomenal under here, the condition of it. There's the oil pan. I think it's a 727. It looks like it's a little bit of oil on it, not bad. You know, I don't see any drips. It's just a little wet. There, I'll show you the driver's side from over here. There's the driver's side pan, and something that I haven't showed you yet, I'll show you when I get over to the driver's side. There's the driver's side inner rocker panel, as you can see, all the way across. And again, the floor pans. There's the muffler on the driver's side. There's a floor pan up in there. I mean, this car is just I really hate to get rid of it, but I've got so many cars, I just have to do something, and I need money to fund my other projects. So I'm letting a couple of my low mileage cars go, you know, and this car is just a really cool car. I know it's probably sacrilege to say, but I'm a Chevrolet guy. I've been a Chevrolet guy my whole life, but I mean, I love everything. I don't care what it is. I owned a 65 Plymouth Valiant at one point, and it was uglier than sin, but it was a cool car. You know, I was proud of it, and you know, any old cars, especially in this day and age, any old stuff is just, it's just worth it to me to keep it around and keep it in good shape. But this car, there's the rear end of it. You know, it looks like, again, it might have a little bit of seepage on the rear axle there. It might need a new pinion seal on it. You know, that's a no big deal. Pop the pinion off, pull the seal out, put it back on, torque it down, you're done. That's about it. Take the drive shaft out. That's about an hour and a half job. Pretty simple to do. $10 seal, so no big deal there. But again, you can see the exhaust on this car is in really good condition. It's got a little bit of, it almost looks to me like somebody had to make a little modification to it here to get it to fit correctly, because it's got weld marks there, and I don't have any weld marks anywhere else. So but other than that, you know, the headers are rusty a little bit, but they're not terrible. You know, they were, I guess, coated with something at some point. And, you know, I mean, I guess you could always put new headers on it if you wanted to, no big deal. But, you know, it's a driver. I mean, it's a cool car, and, you know, I mean, you could let it sit, but it's would be a great car to take to shows and to cruise in. You know, I've got some parts that you can make modifications to it with, and I'll talk about that, you know, whatever you want to do with it. But so this is the bottom side of the car. On the passenger side, let's go around to the back. All right, okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Underneath the back of the car. All right. Sorry, I had to spit. Get my cardboard creeper situated here. Okay, let's crawl underneath the back here and take a look. Oh, before I go under there, these pieces on these cars are almost always destroyed. These in this car are in excellent condition. You can see this one here in excellent condition. Again, nothing wrong with them. The centerpiece, of course, that goes across there is not there. But guess what? Of course, I have a brand new one in the box. You can have it. And actually, I think I have an original one of these. Yeah, I know I do, because I found one of these in the junkyard one time, and I pulled this piece off of it because it was still in decent shape, but it's gotten hard since then, and it's kind of warped. So, but I have a brand new one in the box that you guys, whoever buys a car, can have. Taillights, you know, they're in really nice condition. Don't see any damage to them. Again, the bumperettes on the back, they're okay. This taillight here, as you can see, it's in excellent condition as well. All right, now let's go underneath the back. Okay. Crawl underneath here, and we'll look at the rear valance. First of all, here's the rear valance going across, and as you can see, it's even nicer than the front valance is, in really good condition. Like I said, and this thing here has even been cut and buffed. I mean, this paint is smooth as glass on this thing. It's amazing. Yeah, so that's whoever had this car, whoever put the paint job on it, spent a lot of money and time making it look really nice. Okay, so let's go up here. Here we got the rear axle. It's got air shocks on it. Some people like them, some people don't. I like them. Here's the floor pan up in the rear fender area. I don't know how well I can get up in there. I'm trying to get up into this floor area here. I can't see my camera, so I'm just kind of moving it. Hopefully you guys can see up in there. But you can see how nice and clean that is up in there. Rear fender, well area, inner fender I should say. And then of course the floor pan here is looking real nice. You know, I mean, a little bit of surface rust right there, but nothing to worry about. Come over to our driver's side. Let me spin around here. And again, now this is the bottom side where I told you guys the hole was in the floor. where I think someone left a rag. And again, on this side, you can see that there's not like a lot of rust here. There's not a huge area of rust. So I don't think this was caused by just age. I think it was caused by someone leaving a rag sitting there that was wet, and it just unfortunately rusted a couple spots out in the floor. But I mean, that's a super easy fix. You could almost put fiberglass over that and it would be fine. But I mean, you could cut it out and put a little piece of metal in there too. It'd be like an hour job, and it's not gonna hurt the integrity of the trunk, because it's like probably the size of, you know, maybe a, I don't know, 3-inch circle, 4-inch circle. You could put on that and cover that entire hole up. Or you could get a section of trunk off another car and put it in there. But that's really the only rust that I found on the car. And here's get my camera up in here again. You guys can see this. This is the inner fender. I don't know how well you can see this because the sun is glaring. I can't. There we go. There's the inner fender on the driver's side, the rear inner fender. You see how nice that is. There's the inside of the rear fender. The sun's shining, so it's kind of hard to see. Let me get up in here, and you can see this. Here's the rear, behind the tire, the inner fender part. You can see that in there. How good that looks. Hopefully you can. Except I can't see because my camera's stuffed up in this little crevice. And there's the floor pan on the passenger side, other than this spot right here I just showed you. You can see there's the frame rail, and there's in front of the rear axle, floor pan, and there's above the rear axle, the floor pan there above the rear axle. You can see how nice that is. The shock mounts are in excellent condition. Again, it's got air shocks on it, so, you know, not bad. If you like the air shock, some people do, some people don't, which is cool. I understand that. I didn't show you the fender well on the passenger side. It's kind of dark over here. I'll try to show it to you. I don't know how well I can get up in there. I don't know how much of this you guys can see there. There you can see pretty good. There's the inner fender and the fender well on the passenger side. Again, you can see that's in really good condition. I mean, behind the tires where it's going to rust, and there's nothing there. It's just great. Really good, really nice condition. So, oh, and here's something funny about this car. Apparently, whoever owned it at some point, I'm guessing probably the original owner, he put a hitch on it. It's running across from frame rail to frame rail, and he actually welded it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but he actually welded it in place. And on both sides, it's welded to the frame. You can see it's welded over here as well. And so whoever, at some point, one of the previous owners decided they didn't want this bar coming down underneath the Valance panel sticking out, so they took a Sawzall and just cut it off right here and left this because it's welded, you know, and it really doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of cool actually, because it's, you know, part of the car. So, you know, that's interesting that it's got a hitch on it. So apparently we either had the intention of using it as a towing vehicle or used it as one, but I'm guessing they probably just had intentions, because when I tell you the story in that car, you'll understand why I say that. I don't know if I can see inside the Valance in the rear here or not, but there it is. Up inside the Valance, the rear Valance, up in there. You know, and those areas are prone to rust because they get water thrown on them driving down the road. And the back tires, and again, you can see it's just in really good condition. Okay, all right, now let's go underneath the driver's side of the car, even though we don't really need to. We'll go underneath there anyhow, just so I can cover all my bases here on this car. All right. Gotta get the cardboard creeper positioned here. So I get underneath the car, shut the door here. All right. Now again, first thing we'll do, we'll take a look at the rocker panel. All right. Again, you can see the rocker panel on this car all the way up is just, well, let me back up a little bit. There we go. You can see how nice it is. I mean, it's just really good condition. And here's the spot I was telling you about where the tire came apart and hit the fender. So there's paint's cracked a little bit right there. There's a little chip out of the paint there, and it's hard to see, but there's a small dent right here. It's probably only pushed in maybe 1/8 of an inch. It's not much. Like I said, I don't think it'd take a whole lot to fix that. It's pretty good looking, you know. I mean, I got pretty lucky with it is what I'm trying to say. I got pretty lucky because a lot of times people have a blowout on a tire and it just tears your fender all to pieces. But this is, I was almost completely stopped when this happened, when the tire finally came apart. So I'm glad I wasn't going very fast. But that's, you can see that's the damage from that. It's very minor. Okay, then we'll go up under the car on the driver's side here, and here's the section of the floor right behind the front tire, between the rocker panel and the subframe, or the frame, I should say, frame rail. And here's on the inside of the frame rail by the transmission. You can see the floor pan there. And then we'll go back behind the transmission cross member, and again you can see how good the floor looks. You know, up in there, I mean, there's just a lot of times up in here I'll rust real bad because again it gets water thrown up in there. Looks like somebody hooked something on here at one point and pulled too hard. It's got metal torn there, but you know, you take a hammer and straighten that out. That's no big deal. I might do that before I put the car down off the jacks, actually. Who knows, when it was being towed to Meekum or something on a trailer, maybe somebody tightened it up too tight and damaged it, but I mean, it's just minor damage, no big deal. And then we'll show you, since I'm over on the driver's side now, I'll show you the passenger side inner rocker panel. And you can see it is in really good condition all the way across, all the way to the back. Really nice. Okay, so all right, it's got a scrape right there. I might have done that, put it on my trailer because it's a fresh scrape. I might have done that. Looks like I pulled this out a little bit, but that's no big deal. It's still in there. It didn't hurt too much. And this even says, you can see that it says pipes right there. I just noticed that. So this is a full pipe system. I mean, they're really expensive. But it's like, I think it's 3-inch exhaust. It's definitely 2.5, but I mean, it's big, and it's got a mean rumble to it. It's got pretty big mufflers. These mufflers are probably what they call a 60 series. They're bigger than the 40 series, so they're not as loud, but you know, of course, when you get on it, it's definitely got the rumble to it. I like it. Okay, so we're done looking at the underside of the car. You guys can see how clean it is, how nice it is. And, you know, the rocker panels, like I said, they're just in excellent condition. This car is just a beautiful car. All right, now we'll go up here and we'll go to the interior of the car. Okay. First thing we'll do, we're going to look at the door jambs. And whoever painted this car did it right. They took the doors off the hinges and laid them out and painted the whole inside of the jamb. The inside of the door, I should say, and the jamb itself has all been painted. As you can see, it's in excellent condition. Got probably a replacement sticker there. But I mean, this is, you know, the paint goes all the way to the inside here. It's in really nice condition, so not a problem at all there. Okay, it's got a bench seat. That's what came with it from the factory. It's got a little fading here due to the sun on the headrest. You can see that. When I got the car, one of the first things I did is I had all the windows tinted with 5% tint because I like to protect the interiors of my cars from the sun. So I'll roll the window up here. You can see the window here has got tint on it as well, and I didn't put any tint on the windshield. A lot of times I'll do that, but I didn't do that on this one. Okay, back seat here, take a look at it. There's the carpet, real nice shape. Back seat's in good condition. Now there's one bad thing here. See that medallion right there in the middle of the seat over there? For some reason that one's missing. I don't know if it just wasn't secured properly from the factory. I don't know what the deal was, but it was missing. Then you can see the panel, the kick panel there is in a little rough condition, not terrible, but it's a little rough. This one here is the same way, you know, just showing its age. The sail panels here are really nice condition. The back package tray got some aftermarket 6x9s in it. It's not bad. That sail panel and panel back there is in good condition. The headliner is probably the worst thing on the interior. It's got a tear there, but it's the original 50-year-old headliner too, so you know, it's got some tears there. It's starting to come apart. It's got a little tear there. You know, I was going to try to replace it, that you can't find this material that looks like this. You know, you can buy a black headliner or a blue headliner, but it's just plain. It's not. This headliner material on this car is, I don't even know what it's called. It's some kind of unique stuff. It'd be cool if someone were to take this and match it, you know, to make original material out of it. That'd be cool. Underneath the driver's sun visor, there's a, looks like the mouses have had a little bit of a nest up in there. So that's there. And you can actually see the difference, the faded difference. Even though it's a headliner, it's never in the sun. You can see the difference between where the sun visor was and where the headliner was just exposed to the weather. There's a big difference here. So this is a darker blue than that, obviously. So this is what it probably would look like from the factory. But I kind of like this look. It's like a faded denim look. It's pretty cool. This side here is the same way. It's got the faded look. You can see that. But there's no mouse holes over there, which is good. It's got the lap belts up in the ceiling. Light works. Roadrunner on the dash, as you can see there. It does have an ashtray here that's got some damage to the bottom of it. I'm not sure what happened there. But again, I have another ashtray for it that'll go with the car. No big deal. I believe the lighter does work on it, so that's not a big deal. It's got the gauges, not the lights. You know, oil pressure gauge. I showed you that. Ammeter, water temperature. It's got the 150 mile an hour speedometer, as you can see, and again, 23,354 miles. The heater and air conditioning controls down there. Now, one thing about this car, when I bought it, it didn't have a faceplate on this radio, and the person I bought it from promised me they were going to get me one. Well, they were in Omaha and I was in Kansas City, and I sent them emails for like 2 months, asked them where my faceplate was, and they promised they were going to mail it to me, and I never got it. So it is a CD player. I can see there's a CD slot up here, but I think it's a Sony, if I remember right. I don't know, but I've never played it because I don't have a faceplate for it. So, but someone's probably going to want to, you know, upgrade it to an MP3 player or something. I don't know. The speaker over here on the door panel is missing the cover, which was that way when I bought it. The one on this side, the cover's there. So that's part of that. The front carpet, you know, it's not great, but it's not terrible, at least on the driver's side. I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, I mean, the pad's still there. You know, it's got some wear, obviously, you can see that. But I mean, for 50-year-old carpet, it's not bad. All right, my battery's about to run dead. So let me get over here to the passenger side real quick, and we'll show the passenger side door jamb, which looks the same as the driver's side. It's been painted, like I said. You can tell that's all been painted real nice. And you can see out here the door itself. I should have shown the driver's side, but I didn't. You see, it's, you know, whoever had this car, like I said, they took the doors off and painted them. And one weird thing that I figured out is there's supposed to be a spring and a mechanism in here that, you know, allows the door to stay open and only allows it to go so far, and that's missing. Well, guess what? I have new ones in the box. No problem. Okay. And then on the passenger side here, I think if I remember right, yeah, there's a couple little places here in the carpet that have got a little damage to them, but I have to look through my parts, but I think I've got a brand new carpet kit for this, if I remember right. I know I've got some really nice Lloyd's floor mats for it, so those will go with it. I'll go through the parts list. The dash is cracked. You know, it needs some help. They don't repop these dashes. You can take this one out and have it recovered. Send it off and have it recovered. It's like $500 or $600. But guess what? I got another dash pad for it, and it's supposed to be flawless. I need to get it out of the box and look at it. It's the wrong color, but you can have it painted pretty simply, no problem at all. The glove box, the glove box door does not open. You have to stick the key in there to open it. But again, it's I got a full set of locks for the glove box. I can just stick any key in there. It doesn't matter. There we go. So I got a remote for the stereo. Oh, you know what? There you go. It is a Sony. So you could probably figure out what model it is on looking at it, and get on eBay and probably buy a new head for it, no big deal. And, and remember I told you the medallions in the back seat was missing? So when I was at the junkyard, I found another Roadrunner just like this one, and I cut these out of the seat. So it's got the front and the back piece to it. So this medallion, you can put it in the back seat to fix that. And I even have a spare. So there's 2 of them in there. Those go with the car, you know. So anyhow, so that's pretty much the whole car, the video of it. You heard it run. Again, I'll have to go through the parts list on it to see what I've got and what I don't got. There's my Mr. Horsepower antenna topper. I think he's kind of cool. Everybody likes him whenever I go somewhere. So yeah, so that's the car. I'm going to go through the parts, show you what I got with the parts. I'll do a separate video on that, and then I'll also do a video on the paperwork that I have on it, because I got quite a bit of paperwork. I do have the original broadcast sheet that was found inside the car, and I have some other paperwork, if I remember right. All right, guys, so that's the car. Showed it to you. Like I said, I got some paperwork on it. I got the original sales invoice, I believe. I got broadcast sheet. I got some other paperwork I'll show you. I got a book on it, actually, a whole book. I'll go through that with another video, and I'll show you the parts I have for it. I got a ton of parts. I'll show you all that stuff. But I mean, I really hope whoever gets this car takes as good a care of it as I have. I've kept it inside all these years. It's always been parked inside, and if it was outside, it was, you know, maybe for one night, but it was never out in the rain. I always, you know, made sure it wasn't going to rain when I park it outside or left it out. Usually maybe it was the night before a show or something, I'd leave it out because I already had it cleaned up and ready to go. But like, that's only a few times. I mean, it's almost never been outside. That's probably why the paint looks as good as it does, because it doesn't get a lot of sunshine. You know, it's just in really good shape. And the restoration that was done on it, I'm gonna say probably around 20 years ago. I really don't know for sure, but probably around that time, maybe 15 years ago. I mean, it's not in that bad a shape. So I've owned it for a little over 10 years, about 12 years, I think. So it was done right before I got it, because it was done, well, I think it was done probably around 2012, because it would have been done right before they took it to the Mecum auction, so it'd have, you know, new paint and new tires and wheels and all that stuff on it. So, you know, it's, like I said, it's probably, well, if that's the case, it's probably only less than 15 years old. But you know, I didn't do it, so I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that's probably the case. You know, one thing I don't like about the car on the engine is they kind of put that chrome stuff on there, the cheesy valve cleaners, valve covers and stuff. You know, that's just kind of cheap. I got some really nice go fast parts for it that I'll show you guys when I do my list. I think you'll like those. I think they'll make it look a lot more old school, a lot more era correct. And I had to spend money on those, but I don't mind doing that. I mean, it's cool, just like the dash pad and the grill. You know, they were really expensive. I got some interior parts that I paid a lot of money for, and some other parts I paid a lot of money for, but they'll go with the car. You know, but I mean, this car is worth those parts, so I went ahead and bought them, and you know, I'm gonna sell them with the car. I was gonna try to get them put on there, but I'm running out of time here. I got other cars I got to work on, and I need to let this thing go. So, and of course, if I did that work, it'd be more money anyhow. But you know, I'm just trying to get a little money out of it, make a little money on the deal. Again, I'll make another video of the parts and the paperwork, and I'll add that to the end of this. I'm not gonna say the price here in the video, because you know, price is subject to change, and money talks, and you know what walks. So, you know, it's and if you're serious about the car, if you're seriously interested in it, and you really want to know what it's worth or what I'm asking for it, you know, you can PM me here on YouTube. I think you can do that. I don't know, I've never done it, but I think you can. I'm on Facebook, Wags Automotive, or Dave Wagner. You know, you see the picture of my Chevelle, then that's me. And I'll post my email address in the link, or in the description down below. You're welcome to email me, you know, talk to me privately. But you know, to me, this car needs to go to a collector. It needs to go to someone who can respect it and take care of it the way I did, because it's worth it. And you know, I'd really like to see that happen. So if you're serious about it and you want to know what it's worth or what I'm asking for it, then message me and we'll talk about it. And again, I can deliver it. I've got a trailer. You know, I don't want to deliver it to Canada or, you know, California or anything like that. But, you know, if it's within a reasonable distance of me, you know, I'm not going to deliver it for free because gas is so crazy expensive. But you know, I'll definitely give you a better price than the shippers would, and I'll deliver it to you. You know, if I'm going to deliver it to you, it's going to be in one piece. It's not going to be damaged, or, you know, I'm not going to let anything happen to it. So, again, stay tuned for the rest of the video to show the parts and the paperwork, and subscribe to my channel. You know, hit that notification button. I say this all the time. I'm not in this to become popular. I'm just in this because I like doing it, just like a lot of guys. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you pretty quick on the next part of this video. All right, bye guys. Hey guys, real quick. I was getting ready to shut the hood, and I noticed this up here. I forgot to show this to you. So as you can see, 318 LA family, whatever that means. Timing, top dead center. RPM $700 or 700 RPMs. Sorry. And you know the instructions on mixture setting and all that. So this is probably an original sticker. Matter of fact, I know it is because there's rust right next to it. So this is the original sticker that came on the car for the hood for the engine. So there's your engine emission sticker for the car. Yeah, glad I got to show you that. All right, see you guys pretty soon. Bye. All right, guys, a couple things I wanted to touch base with you on this Roadrunner that I forgot to do. Try to get this where I can see it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Hopefully you can. There's a VIN number. There we go. That's all right. There it is. You can pretty much see it all right there. So there's the VIN tag on the dash, so you know it's legit. And then the other thing I wanted to do, I wanted to crawl underneath the car and look at the rear end tag. Got my flashlight here. I'm going to try to clean this off so we can see, hopefully see what it says, but I don't know if we can see what it says or not. I really have no idea. Trying to clean it off here. In case you guys want to know what the rear end tag says, I'll try to get it cleaned out so we can see it. Okay. All right. Wow. It's backwards. I think looks to me like it says 331. Is a 331 a gear? Can you guys see that? I think it says 331. Looks like to me anyhow. But it's backwards. It's put on there backwards. So it's hard to tell, but the numbers are backwards. But I think it says 331. So you Mopar guys, you know, 331, is that a ratio? Is that a ratio that Mopar put in these cars? I'm assuming they did. Anyhow, I want to show you those two things real quick, so you know what ratio it is, and you know it's legit as far as the VIN number goes. All right, I'll make the videos of the other stuff, and we'll put it on here. Thanks. Bye.